This is the L2C Media Network, and this is Sports Final with Steve the Baxman Baxley, brought to you by William Hill Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting. And the L2C Media Network. Now, with the details from the headlines that make the world of sports spin, here's our host, Steve the Baxman Baxley. Hello, how you doing? Thank you very much. Almost said Harry. Thank you very much, Franklin Pangborn, our substitute announcer. Harry taking 2 weeks off. He keeps forgetting that. Yes, he did sort of make a unplanned cameo on our Sunday podcast, but he's enjoying his vacation. And I'm going to be enjoying a great bill of health. So let's, without further ado, begin the begging. Now, before we do, I would like to make this pronouncement. I don't like censorship, Sam I Am. I prefer green eggs and ham. I prefer the Sneetches as they are. I prefer a chocolate bar. So to those who would say the Seuss was a little strange and a little obtuse, I say to thee, what happened in the past should remain in the past, and thus let the Seuss alone. As for you, Joe Biden, well, Dr. Seuss taught us all how to be together as one. Read the Sneetches. You will know what I mean. Anyway, what do we do now? Simple. We go to the Lord of Sports and say, Dear Lord of Sports, giveth to us something to say. And thus he does. Hey, see? All right, we've had a big ol' upset and a saving grace to report. We'll do it all for you, but right now, let's give you the action, the excitement, and the glamour of headlines. That's right, kids. It's time now for the headlines. As Franklin's would say, we make the headlines, or give you the details that come from the headlines and make the world of sports go around. The Minnesota Vikings announced on Tuesday that the club has decided to release veteran tight end Kyle Rudolph. The 31-year-old has spent his entire 10-year NFL career with the Vikings after the club selected him in the second round of the 2011 NFL Draft out of Notre Dame. Now, while Rudolph had 3 more years left on his contract, this move clears roughly $5 million in cap space for Minnesota heading into an offseason where the salary cap is expected to dip due to the COVID-19 pandemic. With Irv Smith Jr. emerging on the roster, it also frees Rudolph up to find a club to give him a more prominent role while the Vikings have a suitable successor in-house. Now, while the news was first reported by the NFL Network, Rudolph himself was quick to confirm his release via a lengthy and thoughtful tribute to his time in Minnesota. In a letter posted to the Players Tribune, Rudolph talked about how it was such a privilege to play for the Vikings while thanking ownership, the coaching staff, his teammates, and the fans for their dedication throughout the decade he was in Minnesota. His one regret was not being able to help take Minnesota over the hump to win a Super Bowl. Vikings brass also released a number of statements in the aftermath of Rudolph's release. Head coach Mike Zimmer said it had been an honor to coach Rudolph over the last 7 seasons together and wishes him and his family nothing but the best. Rudolph will likely go down as one of the greatest tight ends in team history. He finishes his tenure in Minnesota 5th all-time in receiving touchdowns with 48 and receptions with 453 and is 10th on the franchise's all-time receiving yards list at 4,488. Now from here, Rudolph is added to a pretty deep tight end free agent pool that also consists of Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Wow. That's all you got to say is wow, or belch it if you prefer, like I just did. Okay, let's keep going. And we got a loaded college basketball report. Let's give it to you. Number 4, Illinois. Well, they sent a message to the Michigan Wolverines, and that message was not a discouraging word. What number 4 Illinois did to number 2 Michigan on Tuesday, on Michigan's own court no less, could be considered illegal in some jurisdictions. Now, without the services of All-American guard Ayo Dosunmu, the Illini dismantled the Wolverines 76-53. Now, it was 33-22 at the half, but the game just quickly went into a blowout mode from Michigan. It really got out of hand in the second half. Trent Frazier, 16 second half points and game high 22, carried Illinois to a whopping 43-31 advantage in the final 20 minutes. Michigan built a stellar season around physical play, tough defense, an efficient all-around offense, and good three-point shooting to buttress its attack. Illinois decided it wasn't going to allow them to play their game. The result was a 42-26 rebounding disparity in the advantage of the Illini, and a woeful 2-7 finish from three-point range for the Wolverines. Their 53 points marked the lowest scoring total all season and lowest since December 3rd, 2019, when it failed to crack the 50-point mark in a loss to Louisville. Now, both teams entered the evening as number 1 seeds in Jerry Palm's bracketology. After loss, Palm has the Wolverines staying a number 1 seed, but dropping from the number 2 to number 3 national seed with their loss. The Illini remained the 4th number 1 seed with their win, effectively holding steady on the top spot, yet shifting ever so slightly. Gonzaga and Baylor are the number 1 seeds as a result of Tuesday's action. Now, Illinois has won 10 of its last 11 games and heaved itself into a title contention after a bumpy couple of weeks in December and January to demolish a Michigan team the way it did without Dosunmu. Considering the way this Michigan team has played should force you to recalibrate expectations. There are only a handful of true viable teams capable of winning the tournament. The Illini showed with a statement they are undoubtedly among them. Final score, the Illini 76. Number 4, Illinois. Final Illini 76. Number 2, Michigan Wolverines 53. We'll bring you the scores of, speaking of which, why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? Why don't we do it with pride? That's right. It is time to bring you the entire basketball, college basketball day in sport. And we do so right here, right now. Whew. Boom. Let's get it going. And, all right. Here we go. Okay, final score. Memphis 73, South Florida 52. Ole Miss over Kentucky 70-62. Marquette over DePaul 77-71. LSU an 83-68 winner over Vanderbilt. Michigan State beat Indiana handily 64-58 to remain in that tournament mode. Georgia Tech over Duke, 81-77 in overtime. Oakland beat Youngstown State in overtime, 87-83. Another overtime final, a thriller. Milwaukee 94, Wright State 92. Regular final, Wagner 74, Merrimack 67, UCF 73, Tulsa 69. Whack. There you go, one more time. There we go. Northern Kentucky 70, Detroit Moisey 69, Western Michigan 73, Northern Illinois 63, Georgetown 72, Xavier 66. It took 3 overtimes, but Cleveland State came out on top, 108-104 over Purdue Fort Wayne. Miami of Ohio went overtime, defeated Bowling Green 84-79. Regular final, Fresno State 67, Boise State 63, Ball State 100, Eastern Michigan 65. The Berg, Pittsburgh over Wake Forest 70-57, Central Michigan 81, Toledo 79, Buffalo 80, Akron 78, New Mexico 69. University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley 51. 23rd ranked Purdue over 25th ranked Wisconsin 73-69. Ding. 18th ranked Texas Tech beat TCU 69-49. 15th ranked Texas 81-67 over Iowa State. 12th ranked Arkansas 101, South Carolina 73. 8th ranked Alabama over Auburn 70-58. Number 3 ranked Baylor over number 6 ranked West Virginia Mountain Mamas. Take me home, Country Roads in overtime 94-89. And 4th ranked Illinois, as we said, beat 2nd ranked Michigan, upset them 76-53. We represent, and we represented with style. Okay, and now we go to the women. And oh boy, the women, man. Okay, let's get to it. Women's basketball, your scores. It's a, wow, they had some fun. Milwaukee, a 77-68 win over Youngstown State. Cleveland State, 69. Green Bay, 63. In overtime, Wichita State beat Tulsa, 85-77. Tulane, a 77-60 win over East Carolina. Cincinnati, a 65-57 winner over Houston. Presbyterian, a 61-41 victory over Winthrop. Hofstra, 63-60 winner over Northwestern. Campbell over UNC Asheville, 65-34. Temple, 89. Memphis, 66. IUPUI 86, Oakland 64. Wright State 74, Northern Kentucky 56, 24th ranked Rutgers, a 74-56 winner over Penn State. 15th ranked South Florida, 65-62 winner over UCF. And that's your ladies basketball. That is correcto. Okay, so we have done the collage of basketball. Let's give you something to think. Here we go. All right. Okay. All right, let's keep going on the headlines. In the National Football League, here we go indeed. The Deshaun Watson saga continues to dominate headlines, and it's likely we won't have a solid answer about where he'll be playing in 2021 until much later in the offseason. Watson continues to be dug in on his trade request, while the Houston Texans continue to ignore trade calls, or so says NFL Network's Tom Pelissero, who even reported that some clubs have resorted to leaving voicemails for trade offers on the Texans' phones. Watson is certainly going to garner even more interest if the Texans begin reported some clubs. Watson is certainly going to garner even more interest if the Texans begin listening to trade offers, but it's possible not every team in need of a quarterback will be calling. Now, during a Tuesday appearance on B. Mitch and Finley on 106.7 The Fan, John McClain of the Houston Chronicle reported that 5 teams have called Houston about Watson, but that the Washington football team is not one of them, according to J.P. Finley of NBC Sports Washington. Washington is one of the several teams in the market for now, in the market for a new quarterback, and was even reported earlier this week that they would be parting ways with Alex Smith in the coming days, while Washington has been in quarantine, parting ways. Washington has been in quarterback purgatory for the last several years, and acquiring Watson would certainly solve a long-standing problem. McClain's report isn't surprising. Watson is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Last season, he completed 70.2% of interceptions. If he is found, or if he is indeed traded, the Texans will likely receive a record haul for parting ways with the 3 Pro Bowler. It would be a deal that will likely include multiple first-round picks and even 1 or 2 legitimate starters who could make an immediate impact on the rebuilding Texas. Some teams just won't give up that much for a starting quarterback when, well, there we go. Okay. It would be a deal that would likely include multiple first-round picks and even 1 or 2 legitimate starters who can make an immediate impact, no pun intended, on the rebuilding Texans. Some teams just won't give that much for a starting quarterback, which is okay. There we go. Some teams just won't give up that much for a starting QB, which is where Washington appears to be hunkered down in. Okay, and I can tell I'm babbling again. Oh man. All right, more college basketball news. Creighton coach Greg McDermott made a mea culpa of sorts. That's right. Creighton coach Greg McDermott apologized Tuesday evening for comments made Saturday following a 77-69 road loss to Xavier, calling an analogy he made in a post-game address to his team inappropriate. McDermott's apology posted to Twitter included the analogy in full, which was read. Well, you know what I mean. We read it. Creighton coach Greg McDermott apologized Tuesday evening for comments made Saturday following a 77-69 road loss to Xavier, calling an analogy he made in a post-game address to his team inappropriate. McDermott's apology, posted on Twitter, accused all right. Okay, wow. Creighton issued a separate statement Tuesday evening on the subject, condemning the language as deplorable. It added that any disciplinary action taken against McDermott will remain confidential. Creighton's assistant coach Terrence Rensher, who is also a member of Coaches for Action, also issued a statement on the subject. Rensher has served on McDermott's staff since 2019. Oh, man. Oh. Anyway, there we go. I'm just okay. McDermott has been Creighton's coach since 2010. He's taken the team to 5 NCAA tournaments and is on pace to make it a sixth this season with the Blue Jays, projected number 5 seed in Jerry Palm's latest bracket. And there you go. Man. Anyway, okay. Okay, and our last story in the National Football League. Hello. Excuse me. Okay, on our last little headline for you. Here we go. Tuesday's college basketball slate featured a pair of top 10 matchups with number 2 Michigan facing number 4 Illinois, number 3 Baylor facing number 6 West Virginia. And while those turned out to be interesting games, we already know that all 4 involved will make the NCAA tournament. That's why the Knights truly in a pair of bubble battles involving blue blood programs. Duke, which entered as one of the first 4 out in Jerry Palm's bracketology, dropped an 81-77 overtime decision to Georgia Tech. The loss is the second in a row for the Blue Devils, who are headed for another bubble battle on Saturday at rival North Carolina. In the regular season finale, both for crushing the defeat was done for Duke. It was just as big of a victory for Georgia Tech, which snapped a 14-game losing streak in the process. Oh. And there you go from there. Okay. We're going to take a bit of a pause for the lovely cause. Yes, friends. How lovely a cause? Well, let's see here. Okay, we are getting ready to give you little diddy diddy do diddy do 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 diddy do diddy do diddy do do. Boy. All right. Okay, well, William Hill Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting. For all of you folks out there who love to bet on games, now you can in Michigan. Online betting is in, it's hip, it's hot, it's happening. And William Hill is one of the oldest established betting betting industry. So there you go. Plus, On tonight's edition of Lost Bling the Interwebs with Nick Rekieta, our humble Minnesota, almost said the terror word, but you don't really want to know what it is, and I'm sort of, oh boy, might get knocked out. Okay, I guess we can. Yeah. Let's get to the hockey and to pro basketball. Oh boy, what a day. Anyway. There we are. Okay. I think we're going to call it a night. I'm getting a little yeah, let's kill the stream for tonight. I'm getting a little lightheaded here, so we're gonna we're going to say goodnight, and I'm getting a little bit dizzy here, so a little lightheaded. So we're gonna say goodnight, and we'll get back with you hopefully tomorrow. Until then, good night, everybody.